Good morning, Grigori High. I'm Zainab Alejo.
And I'm Jake Leahy. Today is Friday, February 22nd.
Today on JNN, we look at our school's mock trial.
We look at competitions for our FBLA.
We take a look at student photographers in our school.
And Carson Wells gives us another installment of the Sports Box.
All this and more on today's JNN. Grigori Mock Trial recently began local competition after following 2 successful seasons. Christina Carrasco brings us the story.
High school athletes gather at the field or in the gym. Artists come together in the studio. For Grigori's mock trial team, the Stanislaus County Courtroom is the place to be.
Mock trial is a competition between high schools where we get a case given to all of us, the same one, and we are asked to put together an argument both to prosecute and throw someone in jail or to defend the person's innocence, and then each team goes before a real judge and presents their case while we're being scored by local attorneys.
This court case was an interesting one. So there were 2 charges. It was false report of an emergency and a criminal threat. So false report of an emergency, that's swatting, if some people know that. So it's like you text the SWAT team or the police department and say, oh my gosh, there's a hostage situation here, hurry over. And then they get there and there's no danger there, but the SWAT team has drastic response. So they like beat down the door, and someone can get hurt very easily because of this.
We scrimmage a lot, either against ourselves because we have 2 teams, a prosecution and a defense, or at times we invite in other teams from outside the area to come in and scrimmage us.
The scores were not exactly what we wanted, but we know that we did everything to prepare ourselves, and we know that we put up a good presentation, so you have to be proud of that.
Reporting for JNN, this is Christina Carrasco.
Although the mock trial didn't win the competition, we wish them the best for next year. All students are invited to the Aloha Paradise Dance on Friday, March 15th. The dance will be in the multi-purpose room from 8 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $8 and can be purchased at the SBO for $10 at the door. There will be a taco truck and a DJ, so do not miss out. The Grigori Drama Department will be performing Mamma Mia the musical on February 28th and on March 1st and 2nd at 7 p.m. Tickets are $5 for students with ID and $7 for adults. $3 student matinee will be performed Friday, March 1st at 2:30 p.m. Earlier this month, Grigori's FBLA program went to compete in FBLA Central Sections. Zainab Alejo brings us more on the event.
The FBLA Sectional Conference took place on Saturday, February 9th in Visalia at Redwood High School, and our Jags were victorious, taking home 19 awards.
In past years, we've had more competitors attend the conference, and the people who did usually compete in more than one event. This year, we're very young. We have a lot of freshmen in our chapter, and so a lot of them weren't really sure if they wanted to compete. With so many new students, younger students that I didn't know as much about, I wasn't really sure how prepared they were going to be, so I was happy to see some of them place at the conference.
As a result, many of our students were eligible to compete at the State Leadership Conference in April.
I competed in sports and entertainment management and got 2nd place. I also competed in marketing and got 3rd place. I'm in the marketing class right now, and a lot of the stuff on the test that we took was in the class, and it really helped.
In hospitality management, we placed 3rd. I was kind of shocked by the results because we went in not feeling very prepared, and then we ended up doing pretty well, so that was very exciting.
Although the name may suggest it's all about business, members have gained other valuable life experiences.
It teaches a lot of things that we don't really learn in class nowadays, so it teaches like life lessons and valuable skills that we can take when we go to college and further our lives.
I've learned how to interact better with others and learn to work as a team because it's a team test. You have to take everybody's opinion in.
As the State Leadership Conference approaches, Mr. Wallace leaves his future business leaders with this message.
Come into this thing with an open mind and ready to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. It's a really fun and exciting organization to be a part of if you get yourself immersed in it. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. So hopefully they come ready to challenge themselves and be proud about our chapter and what we do.
Reporting for JNN, this has been Zainab Alejo. The team will continue to compete at the State Leadership Conference in Sacramento. The PBIS store will be raffling off Apple AirPods on Friday, March 1st. It is only 1 ticket per entry, and you can enter as many times as you would like. The winner will be announced at the end of the day. Tickets can be submitted at the C Building windows on Fridays at lunch. CSF applications are now available. They're due with $5 by February 26th to the SBO. Academic Block G awards are now available and due with the appropriate signatures to the SBO by March 8th. If you have any questions, please see Mrs. Damis in N214. While today's technology has put a camera in the pockets of pretty much anyone, some students are applying their skills and even making a business out of it. Cesar Flores brings us the story.
Many students have a talent, whether it be in the classroom or on the field, but it isn't common for students to take that skill and make money. For students Brianna Mendez and Nick Elizondo, they took their passion for photography and profit off their hobby.
Getting into photography, I got a camera at like 7th grade and I didn't really I just messed around with it, didn't really know what I was doing with it. And then I finally started trying to take pictures of your basic flowers and nature and everything, and I really liked it, always be taking photos. And then I finally got oh wait, you can create art from this. And so I started doing it more.
I've always liked photography, and I don't know if it was anything that really drew me into it, just the fact that I liked capturing things. I wanted to turn this into more of something that I could get money out of, just because it was something that people wanted to buy, and it was something that I liked doing. So I always thought if I could do something as a job that I really liked, then it's not a job.
A lot of people will text me and be for senior photos. I've done a wedding shoot before. I've done different portraits for people. I've done headshots for different things. I do have a website, and so I'm just trying to build myself up.
Students have the benefit of having their friends around, and they have their friends that they can practice with and that sort of thing. I mean, I think the fear of rejection is the same whether I turn 40 in a couple months, or if you're 15 years old, you don't want to be rejected. You want to be seen as somebody that's good in their craft and that sort of thing. But there is an element of having to put yourself out there and try something new.
I say just go for it, because at first you're gonna hate every photo you take, or you're gonna love every photo you take, but you never know unless you try.
I would say the biggest thing is you've just got to get out there and you've got to practice. I mean, some things you can do with your iPhone, which is really cool. You can learn how to use correct lighting and that sort of thing, but by picking up the camera, you can learn kind of the ins and outs and what the camera can really do, and you can get really unique pictures that way. And so the biggest thing, like anything, is just practice.
Reporting for JNN, this is Cesar Flores.
Ooh, that was good.
Thanks, Caesar. Remember to buy your yearbooks. Simply go to yearbookordercenter.com and enter the Gregory High School code 16218 to order your yearbook today. Yearbooks sold out last year, so do not miss out. And now Carson Wells gives us another installment of the Sports Box.
What's going on, Jags? I'm Carson Wells, bringing you the latest and greatest in varsity athletics. Welcome to the Sports Box. This week, we're taking a look back at how our winter athletes finished off the season, as well as taking a look at what's to come for our spring athletes. Let's get started with our boys soccer team. On February 6th, the boys hosted the Enox Eagles for the last regular season league matchup, as well as our seniors' very last home game. Right off the bat, the boys looked strong with a score by Axel Lamelli in the first minute of the game. But with a quick response by Enox midfielder, Jesus Montero, the game was tied 1-1 through halftime. In the second half, our Jags took back the lead with a goal by Lamelli, followed by a penalty shot made by Aziel Juarez. And finally, Jonathan Bolaños sealed the victory for the Jags with a final result of 4-1. Qualifying for playoffs, the boys faced off against Jesuit the following week, losing 2-0. With that, they ended their season with a record of 12 wins, 7 losses, and 2 draws. As for our girls' soccer team, their season also came to an end a few weeks ago after losing a tough match against the Enox Eagles, 4-1. With the loss, the girls did not qualify for playoffs, ending their season with a record of 7 wins, 10 losses, and 1 draw, with a league record of 3 wins and 7 losses. We wish the team the best for next year. Now, let's head off the field and into the gym for our girls basketball team. The girls hosted their last home league game of the season, February 7th, facing off against Enox for the Lady Jags senior night. Despite a girls' solid effort, the Eagles got the best of them with a final score of 63-49, resulting in the girls not qualifying for playoffs. They ended the season with a record of 9 wins, 18 losses, and placed 4th in league with a record of 4 league wins and 6 losses. As for our boys basketball team, they made history when they faced off against the Turlock Bulldogs February 5th, beating them 69-55. With this victory, the boys took first place in league, making them the first sports team at Grigori to win a CCAL title, as well as it being the second time boys basketball finished first since the 2012-2013 season back in MMC. With this victory, the boys easily went through Enox, beating them 84-53, finishing the regular season and advancing to playoffs. Last week, they took on the Franklin Wildcats for the first round of playoffs, but sadly took a tough loss, 72-62, ending their season with a record of 19 wins and 10 losses. Now on to wrestling. 2 weeks ago, the team competed in divisionals at home, where sadly our boys got eliminated. As for the girls who are currently in playoffs, they competed in Masters in Stockton, where Amelia Velasquez and Liliana Vergara placed first and continued their journey today and tomorrow in state. Vergara in particular has her eyes set on the state title as well as redemption. Jake Leahy brings us the story.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Wrestling is a sport unlike any other. Although you're part of a team, you can only rely on yourself over the course of a match, a season, and for Liliana Vergara, her high school career. For the past 4 seasons, Lily has been out to prove herself.
My freshman year walking in, I kind of knew that they weren't going to take me seriously. So I had to push myself to be better, just so that the coaches would think that I wasn't just some girl who wasn't going to try at all. And I wanted to show the coaches that I can do something.
First time I saw her as a freshman, the same thing. I thought that she could be a good athlete, but there was definitely some things she needed to work on because some of her technique was not the greatest.
And not only did Lily improve during her freshman year, she far exceeded the expectations of her coaches and teammates alike. Now, in her senior year, Lily has been dominating her sport.
She's been undefeated against girls all season long. There's been a few that have kind of come close, but she just always ends up ending it before it gets to that point.
She has pinned every girl she's wrestled this year except for one. Her only 2 losses are both to boys, and she's pinned 3 or 4 boys this year.
Currently heading into the meet, Lily has a record of 28 wins and no losses. She is ranked 3rd in the state and 5th in the nation. She is also a 3-time section title holder and a 2-time state qualifier.
I hate losing. And when I lose, it feels embarrassing, because then you feel like I'm not working hard enough. So going into practice, I'll work harder, so that when I see him again, I can win.
She works harder. She's been around the sport for a very long time. She's seen what it takes to succeed at a high level, and she helped bring that to our wrestling room this year and show the other kids that if you want to succeed at a high level, the amount of work you have to put into it.
Even though Lily is a senior, her wrestling career doesn't end with graduation. Lily plans to continue to pursue her passion of wrestling well into her college career.
So the fastest growing sport in college is girls wrestling. We have the largest wrestling state in the nation and the fewest college wrestling programs in the nation. So colleges have figured out that by adding girls wrestling, they get to keep boys wrestling.
Just because it is a big growing sport, there is a lot more college opportunities, especially for a full ride. But that also means the competition does get harder, and I can't expect to be the best going into college.
This is Jake Leahy reporting for JNN.
Liliana will compete in the 170-pound weight class, and Amelia Velasquez will compete in the 106-pound weight class. We wish both girls the best. Just as our winter season is coming to an end, the spring sports season is just around the corner. Let's take a look at what's to come for our spring athletes. Baseball will officially begin their season next Thursday as they take on the Sierra Timberwolves at home for a non-conference matchup at 3:15. Our softball team will have a scrimmage today at 3:30, facing off against Central Catholic at home. Also taking on Central Catholic, boys golf will have an invitational this Monday. As for our boys tennis team, They will kick off their season on Tuesday, competing at Tracy starting at 3:30. Our boys and girls swim team begin their season today as they face off in a non-conference meet against Bayer at 3. Finally, our track team will also start their season today as they face off against Pittman in a distance war at Turlock, starting at 4. Well, that's all for this week. Keep up the good work, Jags. Until next time, I'm Carson Wells, signing off.
Thanks, Carson.
Well, that's it for today's JN.
Remember to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jag News Network and Jag News Net.
I'm Zainab Alejo.
And I'm Jake Leahy. See you next time.